Everyone, so this is going to be my video on the different vocal techniques that I use. So these are for more so intermediate to advanced users, so I kind of recommend you actually know what you're doing with screaming, because otherwise you're going to end up hurting yourself. I don't normally warm up. I don't really do much of that. The only thing that I can recommend is a nice warm bottle of water or glass of water, something. It has to be fairly warm, but not hot that it's going to burn yourself. I just find that keeps everything nice and fluid and moving smoothly, and as well as the fact that after I'm doing it for a couple hours or half an hour even, nice sip of warm water usually helps keep things going. If it's cold, I don't know what it does. It doesn't work for me. Could work differently for you, but that's something that I recommend. So the first technique that I like doing when I'm getting gutturals is it comes down to two things: tongue placement and mouth placement. So the tongue placement is actually, you're going to take your tongue and you're going to put it just a little bit past before your teeth. So at the roof of your mouth, just, I don't know if you can see that, but just right up there. So just before you have that dip in your mouth, you want to put your tongue right up there, and you want to make a very like O shape with your lips. So you want to take your lips and push them out a bit, and it's going to be a very tight O, just like this. So that's just the basic of that, and then it comes down to how you want to move your tongue around your cheeks. It's kind of something you just have to play with to try to figure out how to get that desired sound, but that's just the generalization of that. That's how I started with that. And another one I like to do is, again, this is for lows, is I'll put it at the bottom of my teeth. It's something that you really have to play around with. But this one, it goes just right at the bottom of your teeth. You're on the inside, and you just kind of push a little more. You don't just let your tongue rest there. You give it a bit of a push, and you sound something like this. And I forgot to mention, you're not going for that O, you're going for a more open mouth sound. But one thing that this kind of all relates to, and this is how I get the power and everything, is I keep my upper abs like nice and tight, and I always try to use my diaphragm. So whenever I'm screaming, my stomach is moving on a consistent basis, because the way I like to say it is, this is the amplifier, this is my instrument. If I put too much on my throat, it's going to hurt. I can't do it much more, and the next day I can't really talk. But since I've been doing this for so long and I've learned to perfect it, I have actually been able to just use my diaphragm whenever I want. I don't even think about what I do at this point, and that's kind of what you have to do. Is you have to learn to progress through the different techniques, and you think before you're even going to do it, like, okay, this is what I want to try, this is what I want to go for, and you do it like long before it even comes up. So it's interesting once you kind of get the practice in and you can do all these different techniques. So another one is like the pig squeal that I do in a lot of my covers. I don't use that in my band, but you have to kind of force an E sound coming out, and the tongue placement is actually the same as the first one that I showed you. So it's just right up there, a little bit, about an inch back from your teeth on the roof of your mouth, and you just really got to ring out that E sound. So just the basic sound of it is, and the lip placement is roughly the same as the first one. So I'll transition between the two, and I'll kind of show you the difference of finding that E sound and giving it a little more power from the diaphragm again, and just the abdominal region. So the first one is, and then the second one, or third one rather, and then transitioning between the two is, so it's just all about finding that E sound in every word, and I can almost force it to come out in words that don't quite have the E. It's just about getting that ringing sound that you really have to play with. And I mean, like 99% of the stuff that I do, it's because I've seen other vocalists do them, and they discuss their technique, and it's like, okay, well, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to work at that. I never got anything 100%. And I mean, I've been doing this for 9 years now, so please don't expect to get it right away. This is just the basic of the techniques of what I do, and I'm going to have a few more videos explaining some of the other stuff, and hopefully I can trace it back to the basics, because honestly, I don't quite remember how I started doing this, because again, it's been